Good morning, bonjour, hello. This is Chateau buying secrets Q&A. So Sunshine and I have been doing a few videos recently and over the last year or so, and quite a few questions come up about different things about buying a chateau in the south of France, and what have we learned from that. So this is a short video on how to buy a chateau and what we found buying a chateau in the south of France. So I hope you find it interesting, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So the first question that people often ask is what are the true costs of buying a chateau, and how do you budget for that? That question comes up quite frequently. Of course, it's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, it depends on the chateau, the location, the condition of the chateau, and the size of the chateau as well, of course, and whether it's got any history behind it. And I think one of the most important things is, as I said, is location. When we first saw Chateau de Montcuquet, we came on one visit on a very, I remember, cloudy and rainy day, and we came on a second visit to make sure of things. So we came on two visits. So I would recommend a minimum of two visits. The first visit can often be very much a romantic kind of thing. Well, wow, I'm coming to see a chateau and it's beautiful, and oh yeah, we can buy this and no problem. But I highly recommend going on at least a second visit with a pen and paper and really look at the details. So that's very important, because before you find out what you may be coming into when you get the keys finally, when you sign and get the keys, exactly what you're coming into in terms of mainly the amenities, the electrics, what's the condition of the septics, the forced septic, the plumbing, and of course the roofs on chateaus can often be quite problematic and quite a big expense. We had one small hole in the corner tower over there, which took us quite a long time to repair because we couldn't find any local artisans that would come and do the job. It's I think in the end we had to hire a machine that would go up over 25 meters, going on for 30 meters. So to find a machine that's capable of going that high is quite difficult to do. So making sure that there's all those kind of things that you're going to have to repair before you move to the chateau, and what kind of expenses you're looking at. So it'd be worth doing some research into that and making sure that even though it looks habitable when you first visit and maybe on the second visit, what exactly you need to do to get the chateau as comfortable as possible for what you want to use it for. And then you've got to budget accordingly. So that's really the first question. There's not a lot of detail in the answers, but it's just things to think about before you commit to buying a chateau anyway. So that's the first question. The next question we quite often get asked, I get asked it quite a lot, especially when we have guests staying on, 1 night, 2 nights that come to stay. They come, they love the chateau, and they say, wow, you've got a great undertaking here, a great project. How on earth do you prioritize and manage what project or what renovation project you're going to do next? And it really, again, unfortunately, comes down to financials and comes down to money. Hi, Monty. You want to say hello? Up. Hi, Monty. Don't get a dog. That's one tip. It's like having another child. So yeah, how do you prioritize and manage renovation projects? Well, again, it simply comes down to finances. What can you afford to do? What is essential? What is a dream project? What is something you'd like to do but isn't really essential? That obviously has to come down the list of priorities. And things that are essential when you move in are definitely things, as I mentioned previously in the first question. The septic tanks, the forced septic we're not on mains sewerage. which a lot of old chateaus won't be. We're up on a hill here, so you won't be on the main sewage lines. What condition are they in? They are supposed to be emptied and in good working order when you sign and buy somewhere, to check that. And the other priorities like electrics, insulation is important, and the roofs. So really we're waiting on doing any major projects. We did renovate one bathroom which needed to be done. You know, literally one day I walked in there and thought, could I actually come into this bathroom and use it and have a shower, and would it be something that guests could use? And after looking at it closely, I thought, nah, no way can I even have a shower in here. So immediately we had to rip that out and cost for that, and that came to around 8,000 euros, and that again depends on your budget and what you're looking to do, what kind of fixtures and fittings that you want to put into the bathroom. But they, as you know, probably bathrooms can go you know, into tens and 20,000, depending on what fixtures and fittings you want to do, what tiling you want to do, how much of the work you're going to do yourself. Of course, if you do some of the work yourself, you're going to save a lot of money. Artisans aren't cheap anywhere, especially in France. Even if you can get somebody to come and do the job, it will save you a lot of money if you can do some of those things yourself. I'm no DIY expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I found tiling is something you can do quite easily, something you can learn. So I would certainly recommend you do some of that. So managing the projects and renovation projects, it just comes down to what's a priority item for you, and depending on the property and the chateau of what is needed to be done. And you've really got to go along your list, see what you can afford to do and budget accordingly. It's always worth getting a few quotes, a few devis in France, and you will find wildly different quotes come in. So you've really got to look at what's included. Maybe what work they've done before would be very, very key. If you've got a friend that they've done some work for, find out how they were, how the job was, how quick they were, how efficient they were, and what the quality of their work was. So that's how you would really go about managing projects. Prioritize them, what's essential, and work accordingly, work down the list accordingly. A third question that we quite often get asked about is, when you buy a chateau, what kind of financial surprises can you expect? Which is a great question, because you can do as much planning and research as you like, but there's always going to be something that crops up. So what have we found here that has cropped up? We've been here for nearly 2 years now, 2 years in July. And there's one or two things that were a surprise for us, and there's still a challenge for us that we're still trying to work through, which is worth you looking into, I would say. The first one is house insurance, chateau insurance. Now this is something that we've still got a challenge with. We're working through it. I won't tell you how expensive it is, but for example, we pay on an apartment house insurance about 300 euros a year. For here, nowhere near that amount. It's astronomical. The reason it's so high, I've been told, is because if it was to burn down and be leveled to the ground, they're insuring us of how much it would be to rebuild it. Now, would we in reality really go ahead and rebuild it? I don't think so. But I believe our previous insurance company insured it for something like 7 million or 8 million euros, which is crazy. So we're paying a premium on that. If we have a lightning strike and it burns to the ground and we wanted to rebuild it like this, 7 or 8 million. So our premium is adjusted accordingly. Now it's something that we're looking into. We need to change the premium payments that we pay, and so I would suggest that you really look at that. Find out what it is when you do the signing and you purchase the property. You are probably going to be asked to make sure the insurance is in place, and either find your own insurance or take over the previous owner's insurance. So insurance is definitely one thing to look at. Another financial thing to think about, especially in older chateaus. I mean, this one's possibly 800 or 900 years old. Insulation is very minimal. The windows mainly do not have any double glazing, so if you don't have double glazing, which a lot of the old properties don't, then heating costs are going to be substantial. And I'm sure you've heard some stories about how much they are, and you probably will have asked, how much is it to heat the place? Well, whatever they've told you, it's probably going to be a lot more. Ours is on an oil central heating at the moment. There are some electric heaters as well. We put in some electric storage heaters up in the yoga hall up at the top here. And they're expensive to run because they're on electricity, but the oil heating is something. The oil prices have actually come down a little bit since we've moved in, which is a good thing. However, to fill the tank, to switch it on and run the heating, you're talking for here, you know, 1,200 to 1,500 euros a month minimum. And even then, when you open the doors, you're not going to walk in there and go, this is really lovely and warm and lovely and toasty, what a lot of people would like and what they would expect. So heating is a big expense and something I would certainly suggest you think about and look at. And what we do is just wear extra jumpers and clothes during the winter, simple as that. Also, when we're scheduling and planning events and yoga retreats, etc., we try not to plan them in the colder months. We're in the south of France, but it still gets very cold here in November, December, January, February months. Basically, we don't open to Airbnb and Booking.com in those months because we simply can't keep it warm enough. So that would be another financial consideration. Is definitely your heating. Okay, so another question that we quite often get asked, and I think it's the fourth question today I'm going to answer, is how can a chateau or a large property like this generate any income? How can you pay to stay here, to renovate, and to earn some money? A lot of these big old chateaus now do lots of events and weddings. We specialize in yoga teacher training and yoga retreats, and we actually have, I think as I mentioned earlier, we have an event at the Chateau this Saturday, so it's our first kind of major event. We've got a jazz and wine tasting evening organised by one of the local associations in Lautrec. I don't know whether you can see Lautrec in the distance. Là-bas, là. So they're coming on Saturday evening, so they're going to come today and start to prepare for things. But we've been doing yoga teacher training and yoga retreats for a number of years now, and it's not easy. You know, the market is pretty saturated. A lot of places are offering spaces for yoga and tai chi and other modalities. And as I said, we've been doing yoga for a long time now. Sunshine's been teaching people to be a yoga teacher now for at least 10 years, and it's been going up and down. India's back online since COVID, and it's as cheap as chips to go there and do a yoga teacher training. You obviously get the experience of going to India and having to navigate the pros and the cons of going to India. So that's our big competition. But certainly doing yoga retreats again is something you can look at, but it's not an easy market to get into. As I said, it's very saturated, and you've really got to find a niche, and you've got to find people that you can work with that will come to you and use you as a venue. We're slowly but surely now with here getting a couple of people coming. We've had a really great retreat just this May. We've got the ladies coming back again, which is great. She's coming back with another group in September, so it's a repeat, which is fantastic. And from that retreat, another lady from America wants to come in March. So doing retreats and getting business face to face and getting recommended is definitely the best way to go. Otherwise, you're just going to be a small fish in a big sea, and it's very difficult. in the future, like a lot of places, we want to do more events, possibly weddings, and you've got to budget for that, what you need around that to be able to host those kind of events and do a good job of it. So we're looking at possibly buying a nice kind of Bedouin large tent for the lawn at the top here, and you've got to invest in lighting and tables and chairs, etc. So it's not an easy market to get into. It's not impossible. It's certainly rewarding when you can find a niche and get a good market. And most importantly, you've got to enjoy doing it. It's hard work to do, to host these events, to plan them, to manage them, to get everywhere clean and ready and tidy, cut the grass, etc. There's a lot of work involved, so you've got to be prepared for that. But there's certainly possibilities out there. And if you're passionate, and if you're good at what you do, then certainly you're going to pick up a bit of the pie and you're going to make a bit of the money from events and retreats, etc. So think about that, plan for it, and just be aware that it's I would say not as easy as it used to be. You've really got to work for it, but it's rewarding when you do. So good luck with that. And if you need any more help, you can place a comment in the links below, or you can put a comment down below and I'll get back to you if you want any more help or ideas about events, yoga, retreats, etc. Be happy to share some of our insights and some of our stumbles through the journey and what we've done to run events and retreats, etc. So hope that helps a little bit. The final question I'm going to approach today is, I think it's question number 5, is after 2 years of being here at the Chateau, what are the things that we have learned from being here, and what have we found to be some of the challenges, etc. Well, I would say certainly one of the things that you do need to bear in mind is, as romantic and as fun as it is to own a chateau and come and live in a chateau, it is a lot of work. You need to have a good partner, good teamwork with your better half or your partner, because you're both going to be working hard. It's great owning your own business and running an old property like this with the history and everything around it, and it is romantic and it is beautiful, and you do come home some days and you drive up the driveway here and you go up, that way, and you go up into the chateau, and when the sun is shining, wow, it's fantastic. But it's a lot of work, depending on your age, of course, how much energy you've got. You need to think about that. You can be working from 6, 7 in the morning right through until later in the evening every day. You don't get much of a day off. It's nice to think, I'll take Sundays off, but always something comes up, especially if you've got a family. Think about that as well. Have you got any pets and animals you've got to take care of? Have you got a family you've got to take care of? Because there's a lot of time involved. So I would certainly say really think about that, because that's certainly something that I think we've learned. Day to day we enjoy it. It's fantastic, especially on days like today where the weather is beautiful. The sun isn't shining that much at the moment, but it's so mild down here in the south of France. I'm in a shirt and shorts. It's fantastic. We really enjoy that part of it. But I would say think about your energy, think about how much work and commitment you've got to put into it, and do you have that time and energy to do that? If you do, go for it. It's fantastic, and we really enjoy it. It's very rewarding, and but there are definitely days where you're a bit more down, and there are days when you're definitely a bit more up. So think about that. Think about how many holidays a year you want, because I can tell you're going to get less holidays and days off than you think. Again, depends on your individual circumstance, of course, but we found that you do get tied to it, and if that's your passion and that's what you want to do, then happy days. You're gonna have a great time. But that would be one of the things I would certainly say, is think about your time, your energy, your passion, and if they're all there, then buy yourself a chateau. Join us and help us out in the community, and share all your issues, problems, solutions to things, because it helps everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this short Q&A. And if you've got any comments, please leave them, and subscribe, hit a like to the video. And if there's anything else, any other questions that you would like me to answer, or Sunshine to answer, on anything that anything I've talked about this morning, or anything else that you'd like to know about owning a chateau, what it's really like, then please leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to know about. So have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go back up there to see the archivists that are here this morning again, and I'll see you again on the next video. So I'll just leave you with a lovely panoramic view of the landscape here, down to the Pigeonnier. Pigeonnier is just here. Something else that we need to renovate. The roof is falling in, and the beautiful village of Lautrec is up on the hillside here. Bonne journée. Au revoir.